But he was so impressive last season. The Supreme was just, it was such a good performance. Do you know what? We'll take a look at him now. The screen on here has gone a little bit smaller, so I'll sort that out when we go there. But we've got a clip that's up at the moment, and this is Classical Dream on debut. You can see that he's got to the front like a smart thing. He's running really well into the final flight, and he's not, I wouldn't say he's quickened away nicely, but he's a horse that looks like, after he travelled well to that last hurdle, and he's a horse that looked like he would have benefited from the run. So this wouldn't be 100% Classical Dream, and I think it was a nice, smart performance to start off, showing what he was capable of doing. He ran against Aramon for Willie Mullins, and that was a race where the pair of them have gone into the Supreme Hurdle. The pair of them were barely split in this particular race. He was a bit keen at the start there, which is the reason that I showed the first part of the clip. Now, it probably is the difference in this race was Ruby Walsh. He's the one that's got the horse up and won this particular race. And Aramon's travelled well there, but I do just think that Classical Dream, and I hadn't had many runs at this point, Aramon had a bit more experience. Again, I talked about that match fitness. He wouldn't have been 100% primed for this particular race, but he gets headed, he battles back. It's an unreal ride from Ruby Walsh, but of course the horse is the one that's doing it. This is a really, really decent performance in my eyes, especially from a novice. To then transfer this at Cheltenham, we were talking about him kicking off a little bit there with his head, so this is him walking out towards the track. So we'll see in a second, he's up there, and you'll see rodeo style, he tries to shut Ruby off, and that's on the way down. And he's looking at his head down, he was gone. Ruby's taking his feet out of the irons to try and cool him down. Any other horse that had done that before the Supreme would have blown their chances. And that's the thing that I do quite like about this horse. He's bullish, he's headstrong. You can see here he's got his head right down. It's like he's trying to get a pick of grass. Ruby can't hold him. And it's ridiculous, really, that the full start such as this, I saw this, I'd had some money on Classical Dream. You know, it was him and Thomas Darby I put up for the Supreme. But Ruby can't stop him. He couldn't even stop him before they went through the tape the first time. And the energy that he must be expending doing that, to then go on and lead all the way through a Supreme, go and win a Supreme, and win it when the ground conditions were bad. You see all the other horses were getting splattered behind. Now, I know he hasn't been covered, but he's running in it. This is a serious, serious performance. And Thomas Darby runs well to stay on. I think he's a nice horse. I think that's decent form in there. Itchy Feet stayed on. It's just, there was some, in and around him, there's not particular worldies in that race. From what we've seen as them as novice hurdlers, but there's some very smart horses in there. And just look how Classical Dream just goes clear. And I think this was him probably 100%, and then obviously he was going to maintain that peak up and way into Punchestown. But this is a genuine Supreme winner that looks like a champion hurdle horse already. He then goes off to Punchestown, and I'm showing you the beginning of the prelims here. He's a bit calmer than he was before. The head isn't quite as low. Ruby's had to settle him in with the pack a little bit later than others, and obviously that's a temperament thing that hopefully he'll grow out of. But we've seen at Cheltenham, he managed to do that, and he still managed to go and win the race. It just shows what a weapon Classical Dream probably is. This race at Punchestown, when he goes and wins it, we've got Felix de Gis that's just gone and run really, really well at Aintree. He was definitely a horse that needed to be out in front to go and do his own things, Felix. But I just think that you can see here Classical Dream's done the head down again. They've gone off. Ruby Walsh wants someone to go in front. So Felix de Gis going out and giving him a bit of a lead has probably done him a favour. There are some nice types in behind. Well, they were supposed to be potentially nice types, but you'll just see that he's very keen again at the early stages of it. When they finally turn and he's picked up, he doesn't even look like he's having a race. And I know Felix de Gis would have run at Cheltenham, Aintree and Punchestown, might be over the top, all those sorts of things. But let's be honest, Classical Dream was never in doubt going into this race. He was never at doubt at any point in this race. He seriously does look like a champion hurdler. Again, I'll touch on the fact that, you know, he did hold his head. He was a bit headstrong and all those sort of things there. And you can see in this clip he probably is tying up a little bit towards the end. But he's done enough for me to suggest that he's right in the champion hurdle picture.